namaste and good evening, everyone. Everyone, a very warm welcome to today's session on the skill stacking advantage: how to build a Lego block career advantage. In today's fast-changing world, being an expert in just one area is no longer enough. Really set professionals apart is the unique way they combine skills, just like stacking Lego blocks, to create an advantage that others can't easily copy. I'm your host, Ayushi Mishra, and I'm delighted to take you through this exciting discussion that will be open your mind to a new way of thinking about your career growth, personal branding, and future proofing your skill set. To everyone, before moving ahead, I would like you to meet the expert of today's session, Mr. Balaji, and he is a renowned expert in this field. And the topic of the today's webinar is definitely suggested by him and requested by you all. So, before moving ahead, I would like you all to give a small, brief intro about Mr. Bala. Mr. Balaji Shankaran is a seasoned corporate trainer and a coach with over 18 years of expertise in leadership, communication, and personal development. An MBA in HR from the University of Madras, he is empaneled with leading organizations like NNIT, Able Ventures, and Shraddha HRD, and has conducted impactful workshops for corporates such as Axis Bank, Airtel, and Cognizant. Known for his dynamic and engaging style, he has empowered professionals and students to unlock their true potential and achieve sustainable success. I would like to welcome you to this platform, sir. Thank you so much for associating with Education Nest.
Wonderful. That was a great introduction. Thank you so much, Aishi, for that lovely introduction. A very good evening to each and every one of you. I hope my audio video is pretty clear and wherever you are, you're able to hear my voice. And I really appreciate each of your time for being here. You know, you're here to go ahead and learn something new, and especially the word Lego block. Maybe that would have attracted few of you, and you really wanted to know what is happening. What is that Lego block? Can I go ahead and know more about it? And I think you're here right now. So I really appreciate that time. So quickly, we'll get into the session. Before that, Aishi, would you like to add upon something, or can we go ahead and start?
You can go ahead with the session, sir.
Wonderful. So I would like to share my screen here. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, I hope my screen is clear, Aishi. You're able to see that.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, great. So I would like to start with this quick information about the particular session. As we say, how to build a Lego block, right? How to build your career advantage rather. So presenter, that was a brief introduction that was done by Aishi. So before even getting into the session, quickly, I wanted to ask a question for people, whomever is here. Okay, maybe you can pick the chat. You don't need to, go ahead and think about it. Pick the chat, and I want you to tell me one thing. Who are you? What kind of person you are? Now, if you feel that you are a person who has an expert, you are an expert in one particular domain. And if you feel like you're an expert in a particular area, particular skill, and you're very specialized in that, I want you to type number one in the chat, right? And if you feel that, no, Bala, I'm jack of all trades, any skill, anything that you want me to know, I will go ahead and experiment it and I can do that. If you're such kind of person, I want you to type 2 in the chat. So can you just quickly go ahead and take out your chat, or if you can go ahead and take out your comment section, I want you to go ahead and type 1 or 2 in the comment section. Can we go ahead and do that? Okay, I know you have taken that time, and I know a couple of you have taken that time. You went ahead and typed it. A couple of you are typing 2. Most of them are typing 1. Great. Okay. The reason I asked you this question is because, okay, in the responses, we can see the mix of informations. Most of them are saying 1, most of them are saying 2. That clearly shows the mix. It says that many of us are either specialist or a generalist, right? Now, the best thing is, one, I need to have a skill, and I need to develop that skill, right? Or I can go ahead and add one more skill to it. That's what we have been thinking all these days, right? Now, what we are going to do through this session, we're going to see how to explore a third path that combines the best of these two, right? Now, what am I talking about? The third part is the Lego block, right? Now, before even getting into the Lego block, I just want you to think about an example that I would like to say now. Each of you would have been traveling in a bus, right? You would have traveled a nearby location to commute from one place to another. Now, when you travel to another zone, like let's say you're traveling for more than 10 hours or 12 hours in a bus, right? Have you ever seen this drivers who have been driving all these time, all of a sudden will change. And have you seen this guy who used to give you the tickets, who used to issue the tickets? He would be sitting in the driver's seat and he used to drive. And by the time you woke up, you're surprised. You didn't know what happened. And the conductor or the person who issued the ticket was driving. And you will be surprised. Oh, this guy is a driver, right? Hope all of you have gone through it, right? You would have seen those situations. Now, these are a skill. Now, a driver is supposed to drive the vehicle. That's a skill. He would have learned how to drive. But the person issuing a ticket, does he really need to develop that skill? Maybe, may not. But his particular domain demanded it. Why? If there is an emergency where he has to go and drive, he needs to learn that. So apart from issuing the ticket, what he will do, he will go ahead and learn to drive the vehicle. He needs to drive the vehicle. And when there is an emergency, adding that one skill, I'm an expert as a driver. I know how to drive, even in narrow roads, even in challenging roads. I know how to drive the vehicle. But what if I need an emergency? There is an emergency, right? Now this particular skill steps in. If I have one more skill to go ahead and do it, I will go ahead and step in. Now let's look at the third scene, the third scenario. Yes, this person issues ticket and he also knows to go ahead and drive the vehicle, right? Apart from that, now let's say the bus has a breakdown. There is a repair in the bus. All of a sudden it stops. What will happen? Now, definitely you would have also witnessed this. What? The driver going ahead and doing the repair, right? All of a sudden he will get down, he'll take the spare parts, he'll just go under the bus, he will do something, and then he will come back, he will start the bus. Now, the same driver who has been issuing the ticket also go ahead and repair the bus, which is completely the third step. And that is what we're going to talk about here. And that is what the Lego block. Now, what is a Lego block? It is a block. It is a colorful block that we would have seen. Kids would have been playing with that. And we also go ahead and build your blocks, right? It needs little strategy, it needs little skill. But more than that, if you remember, these blocks don't always be on top or beneath. At times, we also use the block to bridge, isn't it? Exactly the same. So what is the Lego block that we are talking about here is the skill that you already have is fine. You're an expert in that. You're a specialist. Also, you have one more knowledge on, okay, and that is fine. But how are we going to go beyond that? And that is what today we call it as, the one pony, the myth of one trick pony. Now, what is this trick of one? I mean, the myth of one trick pony is all about. Very simple. Now, these are the three different areas of specialists that we have. An eye specialist. Now, who is that eye specialist? As I told you, let's say if you're a marketing person, you're into marketing domain, okay? You're very well versed in marketing and you've been into that field for 5 to 6 years, let's say. And these 5 to 6 years, you've nurtured all your expertise in marketing and you become a specialist. Okay. And even after 10 years, when I come and meet you, you're into the marketing domain and you say that this one skill has developed me and you don't want to move into any other segments or you don't want to learn any other skill. These set of people are termed as eye specialists. They evolve and they are expertise in one particular skill or domain. Now let's come to the next part, which is the T-shaped professionals. Now, who are these T-shaped professionals? As I told you, I kind of specialist professionals are those who are expertise in extensive knowledge. They have extensive knowledge in one specific area, right? Whereas a T-shaped professional is someone who's deep expertise in one area, also combined with a broad understanding of other related fields. Right now, if I have to give you an example, let's say if there is a software developer, right, with deep coding skills, right? Who also now he's a software engineer. He needs to have that deep coding skill. Absolutely right. But what if he has an understanding of something called UX design product, a product management, right? And also he has certain marketing skills, right? Now this person, he is a software engineer, but that doesn't restrict him to go ahead and be an expert in that one domain. What he did on top of it, he just created a knowledge around being a software engineer. He developed the knowledge in UX design and product management, which helped him to go ahead and become a better person, a better version of his skill or domain. Now, right now, currently, whomever is in the call, you could be an eye specialist, or you could even be a T-shape. But what is that building a Lego block, or what is that skill stacking method that in current scenario, most of the organization are looking out is for a com specialist, right? Now, who is that com specialist, or what a com specialist person can do? Or why do I need to be a com specialist? That would be a question that would be arising for a lot of people who are here in this call, right? Why should I be a com specialist? I have a T special. I have a one skill. I have one domain. I just need to develop that. That's it. Let me tell you quickly. The number one reason being a deep expert is great, but if you think it is enough, absolutely not. Now look at the way that AI is taking over right now. I wouldn't say that AI is taking over the human intervention, but even to access AI, that strategy needs to be there. Now, today, whomever is in marketing, sales, training, coaching, learning, and development, any domain you are, you need to be having the awareness of being a AI specialist. So what happens from T, you're adding one more layer, which becomes mandatory right now. I cannot go say an excuse saying that I don't know AI. At least I need to know the basic part of the artificial intelligence, right? So having a deep expertise is fine, but it is no longer enough. So that is one important reason. Number two, even if I'm a T-shaped professional, right? Even if I have an overall another skill of my original domain, if I have a skill and I have another knowledge in my skill which I can develop, is that enough? Absolutely not, because today market rewards unique combination of skill. I remember last week I was in an interview. No, I mean, not me directly. I was conducting an interview. So it was for a requirement of a marketing specialist. Now, when the person came, he showed he has around 8 to 10 years of experience, right? Now, more than marketing expertise, the people, the recruitment, the requirement, the HR were expecting that person to have a very good negotiation skill. So where does negotiation skill come from? He's a marketer. He just need to market the product. He just need to go ahead and talk about the product branded, right? But it is one of the unique skill that a marketing person needed, because he needs to go ahead and talk to his clients, talk to his stakeholders, and he need to negotiate, not only in terms of the price, also in terms of the product, also in terms of the deadlines, also in terms of what he wants to convey from his company standpoint, from an organization standpoint, right? For which today marketing rewards unique combination of skills. Today the market is like that. You go and talk to them as a sales specialist, they will not look at you as a sales specialist based on your communication. They look at you on how the way you put your sales, what kind of product you do, how your conviction pitches. More than that, how is your persuasive skills are? How is your conversational skill? Were you able to do the conversation rightly? So there are a lot of expectations. So beyond the expectations, there are a lot of skills that is needed in the current market, my dear gentlemen, my dear friends. So if you're somebody who feels that I have a couple of skills and I'm going to develop it, if that's enough, absolutely not. If you're an eye specialist, please go ahead and move into a comb shaped professional. And that is what we're going to discuss in this call, the next 15-20 minutes. So why a T-shaped or I-shaped professional is good, right? T-shaped or I-shaped professional is good, but a comb-shaped is one who's better. Now, as I told you, the bus example, right? Think about that one driver who knows to issue tickets, or think about a guy who issue tickets, knows to driving, and also doesn't restrict him to knowing all the spare parts of the bus. And he can do that repair just like that. It's not necessary for him. He can think that I just issue the ticket. It's not mandatory. But what if there is an emergency, right? He has to do something. There are people involved in that, right? So what he will do, if he knows to drive, he can just like that go ahead and drive without hesitation. And also, if there is a repair, quickly he can go ahead and find out the repair and sort it out. So that's the specialty of being a comb-shaped professionals. Okay, so today learn that whenever you take a comb, don't just like that go ahead and comb your hair. Just think this comb as it has different layers, and as it is so deeper, right? So deeper it gets into. That's how my skill needs to be. I need to go ahead and find out my core skill. However, I need to be a comb-shaped professional. Now, having said that comb-shaped professional, how do I do it? Is there any strategy? Is there any framework that I need to do, Bala? How can I go ahead and learn that? Absolutely, yes. And that is what we are here today. So whomever have connected, if you really wanted to know how to go ahead and build that skill, there is a very simple 3-step skill stacking framework. And how this skill stacking framework is going to work, you're just going to follow it and you're not going to distract from your core skill. Please understand. I'm not asking you to go ahead and develop a altogether new skill on top of whatever you're having or without ignoring the current skill. Absolutely not. Skill stacking is all about how you develop your current skill on top of it, what you can give it as an add-on. And that's what this 3-step skill stacking framework will help you. So quickly, I'll drill down. I'll tell you how to go about this skill stacking framework. The first and foremost thing, what you should be doing is find the foundation. Identify your core skill. Now, let me give you myself as an example. When I started my journey in corporate, I just started working as a customer service. But let me tell you, training and coaching is very close to my heart. I love being a trainer, being a coach, right? So what I did, I started approaching the training and development team. So even though I was a customer service, I wanted to know how the training works, how people are going ahead and do the training. Is there something involved in that? Is this easy or tough? So I started understanding the basics of how training and development works, how learning and development works, right? So my core skill is training. I just need to go stand in front of people, go deliver the session. Same way, go ahead and find out what is that something which is your core skill. What is that you've been doing all these years, which you like, right? And what are you already great at? Please take out the time and identify the core skill. That is point number one, which is step one. And that's the foundation, my dear champs. If you've been working in an organization, irrespective of whatever level you are, let's say you're a manager and your core skill is depending on your sector, depending on which department you are, take out time and see what best you are in that particular core skill. You may like that core skill, you may not like that, but forcibly you've been into that core skill for quite a number of years because you're working in that organization, right? So try and find out, okay, this is my core skill. I've been working for quite a number of years, whether I like it or not, but I'm performing something good in that. That's why I'm sustaining in this organization for this number of years with this core skill, right? So go ahead and find out what is that you're already great in that particular core skill. That's important. And this is for people who feel like I don't even know what is my core skill. Now, number two, you identified your core skill. Now go ahead and do a compliment. Now, I'm not asking you to compliment yourself, right? I'm not asking you to compliment other. Try and go ahead and compliment your own skill. How do I do that? Very simple. As I said, I like training. I like going talking to people, right? But can I do it just like that? So the moment I entered another Cognizant, the moment I joined Cognizant, I was working for Cognizant between 2008 and 14. So the moment I joined the organization, if you ask me, can I go ahead and take training because I like it? Absolutely not. So I have to go ahead and complement my training skill with something else. So what I did, I found out my complementary skill that adds more leverage, for which first I need to enter into that particular domain. I need to go ahead and find out a way where I can go ahead and fit in myself with the training and development team. So I took the training coordinator role with my communication. I developed my communication. So I took up a coordinator role in a training and development team so that I'm part of the team. I'm part of that ecosystem and I know from the scratch how training is going to work, and especially the corporate training. Same way, today, if you are a marketing specialist or if you are a salesperson or if you're from a manufacturing industry, if you're a teacher, if you're a coach, if you're a counselor, right? You might have your core skill. Find out that, complement it with another skill. For teachers, if you think that communication could be one complement, please go ahead and develop that skill. It's not about always being the subject is your core skill. Yes, of course, your core skill is teaching, but go ahead and complement with another skill that adds leverage to your teaching. Is there a methodology? Is there a skill that I can develop so that my teaching gets better? Find out that. It could be communication. It could be, again, as I said, it could be a negotiating skills. It could be a persuading skill where you can persuade the students by usage of words. Maybe you can develop your English, right? So find it out. Now, once you understood the complementing skill, it becomes a little easier. Now, this is where you're moving from that I-shaped professional slowly to a T-shaped professional. Now, today you might think I have this skill, I have that skill. No, but I have 3 to 4 skills which I'm working currently. So I'm already a T-shaped or I'm already a com-shaped. But take few seconds and think, in a day, how many times are you executing these skills is more important. Now, we can say it depends on situation, it depends on people. No, absolutely not. Right? I understand people's situation, it changes, but a skill is something you have to keep executing every single day, irrespective of a core skill or a complement skill. Why? That's where I learn. Now, what do I mean by executing? It's not just executing it through action. You also learn that skill and upgrade it. And that is what the contribution you do for that skill every single day. So when you stop doing it, it leads to only one core skill that we have, right? So a complement skill is nothing but, as I said, leverage it, connect it with your core skill and tie and upgrade it. I'll also give you an example. So as I said, apart from training, I went into the coordination. Now, when I went into training coordination, I need to go ahead and talk to people. So one area where I really felt I need to develop or I need to fuel myself is my communication. So I started searching for how I can build communications. I approached the previous trainers who have had humpty number of years in the training and development team. I approached a couple of mentors. I told them I want to improve my communication. Can I sit through your session? I shadowed a couple of sessions and I made notes. I made notes of how the communication sentence construction, how can you go ahead and do certain word usage? How can you learn it? I did all these homework. So I started complementing my training and I started liking training more. Why? Training is my core skill. But unless I love that, I may not be able to fuel it. Right? Even if there were a lot of complementary things, I defined my core skills correctly. So, and then I started complementing it so that I started liking and I really wanted to go ahead and learn more about it. I improvised my communication and then I started understanding how to go ahead and have a proper dress code, proper dress etiquette, how to communicate to people, how to go stand in front of the crowd. I started understanding what public speaking is, how to use hand gestures, how to have eye contact, how to improvise body language, how to improvise your posture. Now, these are all simple aspects when it considering learning and development, right? So I'm just giving you a little example on that. So similar way, you can think about your area, your core area, and how you can complement it with that one complementing skill that leverages. Now, here comes the crux. Now, right now at this stage, even before this webinar, we are in the stage of complementing our skills. So we know that, or we say that I keep complementing and today I have a lot of skills, Bala. As I told you before, this is what the crux, the Lego block is all about that each of us need to do. The step 3. And this is called the accelerator skill. Understand, till the complement skill, we dilute a lot of the skills that we learn. We dilute, if it is not required for me, why should I learn about it? So understand, today we are having AI. We talk about AI everywhere, right? 3-4 years, do we know about AI? Are we aware about artificial intelligence, let's say 4-5 years before? Absolutely not. But nobody forced us. Nobody is forcing us to learn about AI right now, but we knew that it's going to help us somewhere in the corner, somewhere down the line, right? So that way, you need to find out the accelerator skill and you need to go ahead and start tapping it. Now, what is this accelerator is in simple, it is a soft or future-proof skills, which will make you to stack indispensably. Now, let me give you the similar example. Now, I just want to become a trainer. So I became a trainer. I started handling sessions. I started handling the freshers, the new hires, the campus to corporate new hires. Now, after 1 year, I started thinking that no, it is not enough. I need to do something better. So I learned more advanced training, wherein I started learning the training need analysis, the TNI, the framework of training, different techniques of training. And once I started understanding different techniques, what I did, I went ahead and approached the mid-level management people. I went ahead and started handling sessions for them. And slowly, I also decided that it is not the stop here. So I went ahead and did a couple of certifications on coaching and training. Why? I need to know the entire learning and development piece. It is not only training is one part of L&D, right? L&D has a lot of inputs in it. So I just don't want to stop with one element in it. So I started understanding, I wanted to learn about learn about more learning and development. So I took a certification in L&D, and I also did a certification on becoming a soft skill and a master trainer. So now doing a certification, is it important? I wouldn't say, but yes, it helps you to arrive at that accelerator, accelerating skill. Even one point in time, I thought to not doing certifications is okay, but then that didn't give me a way to move from the complement skill. So I need to go ahead and build my accelerator skills. So what I did, I started looking out on what else I can go ahead and learn in training and coaching. And that gave me a way. When I talk to an individual, training and coaching alone will not help. I should make him to be comfortable in talking to me and sharing his thoughts. So I have to become a counselor. And then I did my psychometric counseling certification. So right now, the guy who just want to do training, from there, he is a coach. So just being a trainer, when you go share your thoughts to your participants, I also get their thoughts as a coach. Now, any individual from a group of participants come and tell me I have this challenge or I have this personal challenge, I will be able to talk to them for about 5-10 minutes, and I can give them a framework or I can give them a technique which will help a lot. And it has happened a lot in the last 7 to 8 years for me. I've had people who've responded immediately after 2-3 days saying that I tried working it. It works a lot, Bala. Thank you so much. Now, it is absolutely not to brag about me, but that's what this accelerator skill will help you out. Why do I need to do a psychometric counseling certification? What psychometric is all about for a trainer? No, I didn't think that way. I really wanted to help people to identify or unblock their own potential. There are people who really don't know their own skill, the skill they have. They need a little push. Beyond the push, that push should be long lasting. They cannot expect the person to come back and push every time, right? And that way, my framework or my psychometric counseling methodology have helped a lot. So I did my counseling, psychometric counselor certification. Now, the reason I'm saying all this is because I started with step one, my foundation. I understood. And then I complemented it with a couple of learning and development strategies. And finally, I also thought, considering the long-term evaluation, long-term evolution, I understood only these skills are not required for me. I also need to do something different. And I started learning different, where I become I learned that psychometric counseling. And also I'm expanding my skill towards AI, artificial intelligence, how now I can inculcate all this. So, my dear champions, if you feel that you're in the complement stage, or you know everything, or you know you have a lot of skills that you need to explore, please sit through for 5-10 minutes and ask which of the skills that you feel uncomfortable doing. Let me tell you, please go ahead and learn those skills. Today, what is uncomfortable for you, tomorrow it may be forcefully come to you to learn. So please understand, don't take that situation. Today, whichever domain or whichever skill that you feel like I don't need it now, maybe later, immediately go ahead and start giving that accelerator and go ahead and learn that sort of future-proof skills. So this is a 3 simple selling framework that we were talking about. Now, as I told you, I gave you an example, right? What example I was sharing about is I was talking to you about the three areas of skill. It starts with your core skill, and you have to complement the core skill. And third important thing, that is what the Lego block is all about, which is the accelerator. So from today onwards, when you go back to your work, when you go back home, think about what is that accelerator skill that you have. Or if you really don't know what is a complement skill, please think about it. What is my current skill? How can I back it up with that complement skills? So that then you can give time and find out the accelerator skill. Now, let me give you one more example as from the same learning and development. As I said, I was a trainer and I really wanted to learn about more about, I wanted to learn about project management. So my core skill was project management, right? And what is the complement that I did? As I said, not only going and researching about learning and development and training, I started adapting towards data analysis. For me, data is only Excel report. That is what it is. The first 2-3 years, I was thinking that data is all about whatever is there in the Excel. I never knew even a chart or data is presentable. I never wasn't aware about it at that point in time. So I started developing it. So what do I need to complement on top of being a project management person? My core skill, I need to know data. Based on data is what I need to drive each and every element of this project. So I complemented, I learned Excel, I learned macro, I learned there are certain nuances in Excel that I learned. So this made me to go ahead and project the data, whatever is required by my client or by my boss. whomever it is, according to the requirement. Now, if I have to stop at then and there, that's where I need to go ahead and do an accelerator skill there. And that is what the Lego block skill that I did. What is that? It is not only about data analysis I have. Today, we go do presentations with data. What do? We just go ahead, run the numbers. We show this is what the number, this is what we are trying to do. But since I knew I learned about public speaking. Since I learned about being a trainer, I know how to communicate, have been a keynote speaker. I also learned the knowledge of storytelling. So where it helped me? Absolutely. When the data is in front of me, I don't want to go ahead and show the data and just tell the numbers. I need to connect the dots with a story where I can engage the participants and go through the pain that the data has and express my views in terms of how the data numbers have come. And also tell them where it started, what is the current process, and where am I going to lead, where it is going to lead, for which I developed the storytelling skill. Now, the accelerator skill here is my storytelling capability. Along with the data, when I have the skill, I know I can go ahead and persuade a person, whomever I'm going to project the data. And if I really wanted to showcase the client, what happens with the data, I can do it provided I have a good storytelling skill. That is what about your accelerator skill. So my dear champs, please understand, it is not just another skill that we are learning. No, you're giving an accelerator on top of your skill, for which first you need to complement the skill that is around it, for which you need to identify what is your core skill. Make sure don't have 5 to 6 core skills. Try and jolt it out. Try and give it up as a backup of one core skills, right? So most of the things I've covered. So as I told you, this one L&D professional's example I was talking to you about, the core skill required for an L&D professional like me initially was instructional design, right? So today we call them as instructional design. Those days, there is nothing called instructional design. There is one person who go ahead and build the entire training curriculum. He will go ahead and design the curriculum. He will involve all that role plays and activities. He go ahead and do the session. He deliver it. He take the feedback and he will get back. Now, what happened to that person? He needs to adapt. He needs to improvise his skill. So preparing a presentation or developing the content or designing the instructions, entire instructions of that program has become an instructional design. So I identified that is my core skill. On top of it, how can I go ahead and complement it? As I said, I learned my storytelling and I also learned public speaking skills. Along with that, the data analytics helped me a lot to make my instruction better. But is it enough? Where is my accelerating skill? That's where my influence and stakeholder management. So today, being a consultant, I need to meet a lot of stakeholders. I need to meet a lot of clients. So is storytelling alone is enough? Absolutely not. I need to persuade them. So along with the persuading skill, what is that one thing I learned is the influencing skill. What kind of person they are. I'm just developing my influencing skill so that I can go ahead and make sure my project or my order get approved. Right? And that is where my accelerator pushes. So what happened, the result? So moving from a typical trainer or training provider, I started building strategy, right? I started become a strategic business partner. Today, there are clients whom I have met and they don't know the real problem where I was able to identify the problem for them. And I was also able to give them a solution on it. That paved the way for me to go ahead and deliver sessions for them, prepare a project on it. So the result is that you're moving from one area, one particular core skill to a strategic business partner who can prove ROI, return of investments, right? Return on investment. Today, there are a lot of project strategical business partners, but how many of us go ahead and talk about ROI, with a lot of courage? It's because we don't have the clear picture, for which we need to have an accelerator skill so that we can go ahead and prove that ROI and get a buy-in for new initiatives. The new initiatives could be anything depending on your organization, depending on what core skill you are, depending on what domain you are, right? So I hope I've covered most of the things I've covered. So what is it as an audience that you could do? You've been here, you're part of the session for the last 45 minutes. What you can do to go ahead and build these 3 areas. Let me give you a quick picture. This is the action plan that you could do. And if you're really interested in building your accelerator plan, you can do it. I'm not forcing you. I cannot force anyone. Rather, I can't force myself, rather. So I'm not going to force anyone here. I'm just giving you a plan. Try and go implement it. See, unless you go ahead and try working it, you don't know whether it is working out for you or not, right? So spend some time on yourself. So this 3-month skill stacking action plan is something that you can nurture it. This action plan is something that you can nurture for yourself. The first month, focus on your foundation. Today, you might have a lot of core skills, right? Try and go ahead and do a RCA. Is it my root cause? Is it my core skill? Try and find out if that's your core skill. Deepen your core skill with certain certifications and do a masterclass on it. After almost 2 decades of training and coaching experience, I still went ahead and completed a soft skill certification training program recently. It is absolutely not to brag, as I told you before, but I wanted to test myself in terms of deepening my core skill. I want to anchor it. Nevertheless, I have to distract from my core skill. There were instances in my journey, a couple of people wanted me to get into another domain because of my communication, because the way I talk to people, because I can talk and influence people, they want me to take up another role, another profile. I said no. Why? This is my core skill. And I know what will happen if I take another core skill and if I go get into another domain completely. So I didn't take up another role. So I'm not asking you to do that, change your job or change your role. No, I'm asking you to find out what is that deep core skill. And if you understood it by this time, please go ahead and do some certifications on that. Try and find out to do a masterclass on that. That's number one. And that you will be doing on the month 1 out of 30 days. You have 30 days and you're going to do this. Number 2, month 2, acquire your complementary skills. How do I do that? Very simple. Start learning, start identifying micro learning platforms, right? What is that micro learning platforms? You have n number of platforms today who offer online courses, online video courses. There are free online video courses that you can go ahead and find it out. So go register for that. Register for free courses initially. You don't need to invest more number of amount. You don't need to invest a huge amount, right? So go ahead and find out those kind of micro learning platforms. Invest on that. So month 2, once you identified and once you did some coaching or some certifications on your core skill, you're going to invest on the platforms and learn the complementary skills, which should be aligned with your core skill, right? So use that. And the third month, once you've done with these 2 months, you'll be very confident. And when you go to your acceleratory skill, let me tell you, you'll be very clear in terms of what is that you're going to learn in acceleratory skill. You know how to build your accelerator. I'm very sure about it, right? So third month, what you could do to add that accelerator skill is join some forums like Toastmaster, read a book, right? If you're already reading a book, try and find out what best you can complement more on the kind of books that you read, right? So go ahead and read some books on influence or whatever skills that you felt like I can go ahead and accelerate. On top of these two, try and find out a mentor. If you feel that a person is there who can actually guide you, who has that knowledge, who really has a capability and knowledge in the domain that you want to accelerate, please remember, right? The skill that you want to accelerate, not domain, the skill that you want to accelerate, please go ahead and make them as your mentor. Ask suggestions to them, give them some inputs, speak to them, talk to them about it. Or go ahead and find out a forum where you can go talk and people can give you inputs on how you can accelerate a particular skill, right? So that you're going to do it on the third month. Now, each and every month, focus on this one component. Don't try to distract yourself. Month 1, only focus on your core skill. Month 2, focus only on the complementary skill. Month 3, build your accelerator skill. Right? So with that, I think almost I'm done. I'm done with my session. So thank you so much for each and every one of you once again. So tonight, before you hit the bed, go ahead and write out your core skills, go ahead and write out your complementary skills and try and find out your accelerator skill and work on the roadmap for the next 3 months. Thank you so much, guys, and wish you all a great, great day ahead. Thank you. Back to Ayushi,
Thank you so
please.
much, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Bala. I would request you to stop presenting your slide.
Okay, I would do that. Just give me one. Yes.
Well, I must say it was a very wonderful session. I was sitting through the whole session and I realized how wonderfully you have given your experiences a roadmap to this webinar. You have taken your experiences as a guiding roadmap and has designed your whole webinar as per that. I think that was very commendable and it was very wonderful. So before ending the session, we would like to take 3 questions for this webinar.
Sure.
And let us start. And the first question is, what framework can professionals use to identify which skills to stack for maximum career leverage?
Okay, I would suggest that's a good question in terms of framework, right? When you want to define your skill, I would first recommend not to use any framework. The reason being, frameworks itself is a technique, right? It is derived to go ahead and find out something which is not solved, which you're not able to solve. Identifying a skill is not like that. I would suggest if you want to identify what skill you have, start reading certain books like Ikigai. Okay, Ikigai is one best
Yeah.
book that will tell you what kind of skill you are good at, right? Most of the time we feel like this is something I like and this is something I do. I don't differentiate it, but I don't know what is my skill, right? A skill is nothing but you enjoy doing it, right? But today, if you go and tell that, people will say, I don't like my job, but still I'm working. No, we can't help it. That's something you're doing it for your bread and butter. But what is that skill is something only you know. So to derive that, there is no specific framework, but I would recommend you to go ahead and explore a lot of books, right? And another one more thing, maybe yes, since the person asked, I can tell, go ahead and find out your, 4 quadrants. Go ahead and find out, put a SWOT analysis for you. Sit, go ahead and identify what is your strength, what are your weakness, what are the objections, and what is the threat currently, right? Try and derive your SWOT analysis and you will find out your skill.
All right. Let's take the second question. It says, can still skill stacking help professionals pivot to new industries without starting from scratch?
In fact, no, it helps a lot for them. You know why? The moment you get into a new organization, we always feel that we need to scratch from the bottom, right? I need to scratch from the lower level because I'm joining in a new organization. I cannot treat myself an expert. But please understand, by the time you enter that organization, if you're already skilled in what is required for that organization, let me tell you, you are an expertise, right? The moment you go, you enter that organization, you start working on what they're expecting, even before they come and tell you, right? So considering that this stack is absolutely the skill stacking methodology will benefit even more than people who are already there in an organization. It helps somebody who's starting in an organization. It helps a lot for them. They just need to define their complementary skills and they need to accelerate it so that by the time they get into a new organization, they will be all set and they can go ahead and perform the best.
All right. The third question says, with AI and automation disrupting industries, which skill combination will remain resilient over the next decade?
I didn't hear the last part. Can you repeat it if you don't mind?
Yeah. With AI and automation disrupting industries, which skill combinations will remain resilient over the next decade?
Okay, one skill I would always say is keep learning. Don't forget it. Okay, keep learning. That's the one skill that you have to do. Now, if you ask me which AI and which another skill, it depends on each of this industry. Now, if you look at hospitality, it's growing like anything because the demand is higher. And more than the demand, they require people to go ahead and do the service properly. They are using a lot of artificial intelligence. And the second thing, look at the HR industries. They are predominantly started looking at AI like another human, right? They want to drive AI completely into the recruitment process. So which AI fits to me or which skill do I need to develop so that I can compete in the market? Start exploring. Number one, start learning. The learning is the key skill that you need to have. Number two, as I told you, which industry you are right now, go back and check with your hierarchy people. What is the skills that they are trying to learn right now? Or look at your vision mission of your organization. What are they focusing for the next generation? What the next 10, 5, 15 years goals for them, and what is the skill that they're really looking at each of their employees. Do you have that skill? Try and develop it. Because let me tell you, even I can forget upgrading myself with a skill. My organization will not forget. Every single year, they keep upgrading their vision mission. So if I really don't know what is my core skill, I can go back and see where I was working, how many years I've been working in the industry. So my core skill can be connected with my industry. And unless I have performed, my company is not going to have me. So if I'm there in the industry for 5 to 10 years, that is my skill. And what my organization is looking forward for next 5, 10 years, I develop it. That's all you can do.
All right. Here goes another question. What are the top complementary skills for professionals in leadership, tech, or creative roles?
Leadership. What is the other one you said?
Tech,
Okay.
and creative roles.
Creative roles. What are the skills? Complementary skills. If you ask me
No,
for
complement.
complementary skills, yeah. See, for leadership, I would suggest the number one skill is influencing. Okay. And ownership accountability is absolutely required for a leadership role. Why am I saying this as a complimentary? Today, leadership is looked upon where you go take lead of a team. Okay. People tell you that you are a leader, you need to take initiative, you need to take pride of what you're doing. All that is fine. Do you have the accountability to lead yourself? Number one question. Before I go lead somebody, I need to lead myself. For which more than what I learned, I need to unlearn. Am I ready to do it as a leader? That's the first question. So the complementary skill as a leader I would look upon is the first and foremost thing is, as I said, the communication, your leadership style, the accepting, the influencing strategy, that is one among. And more than anything, it is all about how you take the accountability and ownership in your hands. So accountability, ownership is key skills that is required, a complementary skill required for being a leader.
Okay, so there are a few more questions we're going to take. It
Okay.
says, can you give an example of a good accelerator skill for someone in a non-L&D role like an accountant?
Okay, that's a nice question. I scored centum in my accounts, let me tell you. I mean, in my 12th standard, okay? But after being a trainer, right now I'm thinking, why did I score? It's not nothing wrong. But since this question comes up, for an accountant, what could be a better skill, accelerating skill, could be storytelling, as I told. See, storytelling is one best methodology for an accountant. Why? Because you're not only going to showcase accounts, you're not only going to take care of finance. How are you going to project it? How are you going to budget it? Right? How are you going to project your budget for the next couple of years to your clients, to your organization? Storytelling helps you a lot to go ahead and project it. So that projection for an accountant is very important, right? So maybe one accelerating skill for accountant could be the storytelling skill. The other one could be marketing skills, I would say. Marketing is not that you're not going to market it, but when you develop the skill of marketing, you develop your people skill as well. So as an accountant, it is important to have people skill because you're going to deal with a different set of people and that too at a higher standard. So you need to have the people skill to understand their strength and communicate accordingly. So essentially, I would say the basic two things that at this point in time, the skill an accountant can develop is one storytelling skill, the other one is marketing skills.
All right, I guess you've got your answer. The other question is, do I have to get a formal certification for every skill I stack?
Absolutely not. So I remember one of my professor, account professor. Okay, you will not believe he has 213 degrees. Okay, he has also appeared in one of the TV channel in Chennai, like in Tamil Nadu. There was a TV program. He has also appeared in that. Now the thing is, it's important to have that degree. Okay, but looking at him, I was scared. But he said, I like doing it. Right now, if you're such kind of person, it's fine. I'm not denying, but considering the market, considering AI, considering the current scenario, if you feel like you need to have a lot of skills and you have to keep pumping yourself, let me tell you honestly, no. But identify your core skill. As I said, do some certifications in that. If you have done already any certifications in your core skill, back it up with your complementary skill. Try and go ahead and do any certification. But let me tell you, I'm not forcing you to do certification because one point in time I was telling that certificates don't define me, right? Till one stage in my life I was saying it, but then later I understood doing a certification, whether it defines me or not, it gives me the confidence to learn more things. It helps me to go ahead and explore a lot. So I would say, please go ahead and do. If you have your core skill and if you also have a complementary skill identified, please go ahead and do a certification. It will give you a lot of exposure.
All right. There's another question. Where is a good place to start for free or low cost learning resources?
You have a lot of free courses. You can just go Google it, find it out. In LinkedIn is one, but I think LinkedIn there is a subscription involved in it. But if you go to Udemy, if you go to Coursera, there are a lot of courses, free courses they have. Okay, and go find out on Google. Just put free online courses for the particular skill. You put it in Google, it will throw you a lot of skills. Let me tell you, I did couple of courses free of cost only by that. So yes, the resources are a lot right now.
So, Mr. Bala, one question I would like to ask here is there any difference in the people who approach you? If you have done any free kind of certifications or if you have done certification from a very renowned institution. So, is there any difference when
You're
people
talking
approach you?
about the accreditation, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if you ask me, that depends on the individual who gets the certificate. Now, let's say, Aishi, you want to get a certificate from me, and I'm telling you the certificates comes from New You. Okay, New You is my organization. I'm branded. I've done my corporate this number of years, so I'm going to certify you post the session. Now, post the session, if you're satisfied, it's fine. I'm giving you a certificate. But before starting the session, if I tell you if you're confident, it's fine. Okay, but now what I'm doing, I'm saying I'm going to give you a certificate from New You. Also, I'm going to add up, it's accredited by IIM Delhi. So along with IIM Delhi and New You, we are giving you the certification. Now, what comes to your mind immediately? Whether New You will come or IIM will come?
I,
Absolutely. So it depends on the person, right? So your question
yeah.
is right. If you ask me whether you need to have any accreditation or you need to go alone with your brand, if you have that courage and guts, you can go alone. But let me tell you, accreditation or if you're going alone, that doesn't matter. It's about what content are you giving people. How are you making people to move a needle from one step to another step? That's why I clearly said I love making people to unlock their own potential, right? So that's more important. So for your question, I would say it depends on the person who's going to receive that certificate, right?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask that does it create any difference in the market of the
See,
training market, the training
that's
market
a
of
wonderful question.
consumer?
When it comes to training market, I have seen people who have completed 4 or 5 certifications. Okay, it's nothing wrong. I've seen people who have completed 4 or 5 certifications from different institutes, but still finding hard to get projects. Okay. At the same time, I'm seeing people who have done only one certification, but he has around 5 to 10 clients from whom he gets back-to-back training projects, and he's completely busy for the last 1 year. So the difference here is,
Because of the
yes,
skill.
absolutely. It is not about where you pay and what kind of certifications you get. It doesn't get over. It doesn't stop then and there. The problem here is today in the market, the training accreditation, training recognition is haywire. It is left, right, center. There are a lot of institution coaches, lot of institutions who provide you certifications. The problem here is when people go get that certificate, they think the moment I get that certificate, my order, my projects, everything is taken care, which means if I complete that certification, I can go meet the client instantly. The client will give me an offer to go ahead and train. No.
Yeah.
If anyone is watching this, I'm really sorry to say that. No. So as you said, I feel yes, market has become like that. I wouldn't say market is like that. Market has become like that. So what I want people to keep that in mind. If you really wanted to do certification, choose one particular institute. Choose who's offering what you need. However, keep that in mind, certificate alone will not go and speak to your client. Certificate alone will not go and talk to your clients. After getting the certificate, you get the knowledge. You need to go ahead and put that action. That's very important. So yes, market is in such a way, it's as smart as you have to be. And it is not required you have to complete 3, 4, 5 certifications. Even if you complete one certification, you need to go ahead and no, at least go back and implement it so that you get back the certification fees within 1 year. So I usually tell my
All right.
participants that I
So
usually
with this,
Oh, I'm really sorry. I usually tell
no, no,
my
no.
participants, my coaches, I used to tell them if you're investing on a certification, you get the certificate, but within 3 to 4 months, the same profession that you for which you got trained, go ahead and get the payment back. Go ahead and implement whatever you learned and get the certification fees back. That's when you real success it.
All right. I think that was a very wonderful session. And before putting an end to it, I would like you to give the audiences an example, or I would like to say an advice on whosoever is thinking or just entering this market of training, of skill stacking. Maybe they have one skill, they are getting confused to take another skill, or maybe they have taken one skills, but that is not been, their core area, as you said. Maybe they have taken another skill first. Still people try to figure out what is their core. So what one piece of advice would like to give them?
See, I wouldn't say advice, but let me tell you what I went through and not the entire story. I'm just going to give you that one liner. If at all, if you're looking, getting into a training, if at all, if you want to become a coach or a counselor, or you're just trying to change your job, always ask this question wherever you're going to, especially when it comes to training. Don't look at the outer part of it, right? Don't look at the one side of it. Experiment the other side as well. The reason I'm saying is I've heard most of them. There are a lot of people who comes to me when I ask them, why do you want to become a trainer? They tell me two reasons. One, they say you get a lot of respect. Number two, they say you get paid a lot. Now the best part is neither is true, right?
Okay.
But being a trainer, I'm not saying I don't get respect. I never said that. I get a lot of respect, but it takes that time frame. So each of the domain or
Of
each of
course.
the role change that you wanted to do, it has its own time frame. The one advice that I would give each of you is give that time frame and accept it. And if you're moving out from a job to an entrepreneurship role, try and have that financial backup for at least a minimum 1 year to 2 years, right? And give that time frame and accept however it is. You can't change that because the design is like that. Now you are changing according to that zone. So the one piece of advice is you want to become a trainer or you're going to change your role, give that time space and accept yourself. Never come back and curse yourself for taking that decision. That's number one. Number two, when it comes to training, please go on the field and experiment it. Never get diluted with people coming and telling you that if you complete this training, you can earn 1 lakh. Please don't do that, right? Yes, you have the capability. We are not denying. I'm not denying, but don't measure that capability with money. Measure that capability with the number of clients that you approach in the market. Measure the measure that with the feedback that those clients are giving on you, and measure how many clients you were able to go to the market and meet and talk about your training programs. So measure it with your action plan rather than measuring it with your money. That's it.
All right, Mr. Bala, thank you so much. I believe that has been a very wonderful session, and I guess my audiences have learned a lot about the skill stacking. And with this, all that you have told about the core accelerator, and someone has said so beautifully about storytelling, because storytelling is something that we have only learned in schools, that storytelling is something, but to project it at this stage of a career of people, I think that's very commendable. So with this, I would like to thank you again for associating with Education Nest and doing this webinar. And to you all, thank you again for joining. Join us another week with another webinar. I, Aisha Mishra, will see you again. Till then, subscribe to our YouTube channel and like this video and share as much as you can. I will meet you again in next week with another webinar. Stay safe.
Thank you, Ashi. Thank you so much. And thank you, Education Nest. Wish you all a good luck. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.